Hey everybody, making Brian Langerstrom's chicken souvlaki. So here I've got about 2 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken thighs and a bunch of vegetables and stuff. First step really is to do the chicken, get it into a marinade, and then so while that is going, then we'll make the bread and also the dressing, the tzatziki for it. So this whole thing really should take about 45 minutes. If I'm efficient, we'll see how it goes. So first step is to basically chop the chicken into 1-inch pieces that I can then put on a skewer later on. Okay, the chicken thighs are cubed up. Now we're going to add half a cup of olive oil to this. And we got about, this is about 4 teaspoons of kosher salt. The recipe calls for 15 grams. So depending on what type of salt you're using, you'd want to measure it. And here we've got about 4 teaspoons of oregano. Recipe calls for 5 grams. This is actually about 4 grams of oregano and about 4 grams of black pepper. And this is a mix of black and white pepper because that's what I had. So we'll add that in there too. And then we've got 100 grams of Dijon mustard here. So it's about 1/3 of a cup. And I'll link to Brian's video of this, and he's got the detailed recipe as well in his in the comments of his YouTube. And then I've got here about 5 cloves of garlic, and I'm just going to use the garlic press for this. And now we need the zest of 2 lemons. We're going to use the juice for the lemons as well, so nothing will go to waste here. So I've just got my microplane in order to zest these. And we need the juice of 1 lemon in here as well. We will pour that in. So it says about 2 tablespoons. That looks about right. Now I got everything in there, so I'm just going to give it a mix. There we go. Mixed and ready to go, and I'm about 10 minutes into the recipe at this point. Okay, so we're making the pita now, and in the mixer I've got 3 cups of all-purpose flour, 350 grams. Brian does this with a food processor, but I've got the stand mixer, so I'm going to do that because then I can knead the dough as well. So we'll get this going, and here I've got 5 grams of salt, that's about 1 teaspoon, and 2 teaspoons of sugar, which is about 8 grams. So we'll get that in there, and we're going to add 2 teaspoons of instant yeast to this. Now here I've got about 3/4 of a cup of beer. So this beer's been heated up to about 90 degrees or so, and that will help the dough rise. And the beer also gives it a nice sort of yeasty flavor. So we're going to add this in there. And we're also going to add 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Okay, this dough's coming together, so I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to put on the kneading hook. Okay, so we have a nice dough ball here. I let it go for about 5 minutes in the stand mixer. And what we have here, 577 grams. So you want to do this roughly into 4 pieces. So So we have 4 pieces of dough here, all around 145 grams. So now we just want to shape them into a ball so that it's easier to roll out later on. 4 pieces of dough. I'm going to cover that with plastic wrap and put it in the oven with the light on in a warm place, and that can rise now while I'm making the tzatziki. So for the tzatziki, I've got 1 large English cucumber here, and I'm going to grate it on the box grater, and then we'll actually squeeze out the moisture as well from it. So here you can see we got the cucumber. It is very wet. So in order to strain out the moisture or squeeze out the moisture, we're going to basically put it on some paper towels and try to wring it out a little bit. You can see the water coming out. I'm going to do this over the sink. So here you can see the cucumber is a lot drier. Still some moisture, but there's a limit to how much you can squeeze out. And I changed the paper towel once as well. So now in the bowl, I'm going to do this one by weight. So we need 200 grams of plain Greek yogurt. And that's about 3/4 of a cup. Now 75 grams of mayonnaise. And we need a clove of garlic in here as well. One teaspoon of salt. We'll throw this in here. And we need about 2 teaspoons of fresh dill chopped, so we'll chop that up here. And the juice of half a lemon. So we'll go back to our trusty juicer here. We'll mix this up. I'll give this a taste. That's good. Tangy. So I'm going to put this in the fridge. Okay, the last step now is just to make a relish for the dish. So with this, we basically got 2 tomatoes. We're going to use half a red onion and some parsley, about 1/3 cup chopped parsley. So I'll cut this pole to pole, put that aside for another use. Okay, so these tomatoes, we're going to slice them. And dice them. Now we want about 1/3 cup of parsley, so I'm just going to chop the tops off here. Probably looks about right. And you can see my bowl is a little too small, so what I'm going to do is throw this into I'll throw this into another container in order to mix it before serving. And you can see that there's also no salt in here because salt would actually draw out more moisture from the vegetables, and we don't really want that. So yeah, I'll mix this up, put it in another bowl, and then we'll be ready to start skewering the meat. Okay, so I've just put the barbecue on so it can get hot, and now we need to skewer these things. They're coming off the skewers before serving, so the skewers really are just a way in order to cook them. So we don't have to be super particular about how we do this, but yeah, there's one skewer, and I'm going to repeat this till I'm done. Okay, so I've got the skewers of meat ready. See, the dough looks great. So I'm going to get the meat on the grill and then start rolling out the dough, because these pitas won't actually take very long, and the chicken will take a bit longer. So, okay, meat's on the grill. This dough feels great. And we want to roll it out to about an 8-inch round. So I'm going to use a rolling pin. This isn't the best rolling pin for this sort of thing, but it's the one I have. So I rolled them out to 9, which they'll shrink a little, so it'll give me about 8. Cover these up. And now we will head out to the grill. So you can see we've got the chicken on here. We'll give this a turn. That pita's looking good. Okay, I'm going to take the last pita off. And I'm going to spread these around a little bit just to give them a last grill. Okay, ready to take these off. See here, we got some nice char on there. So now it is assembly time. So we'll take one of these pitas, throw on some sauce here. Now, careful not to burn myself. Put some meat on here. In Brian's recipe, he chops the meat again, but I've actually run out of cutting boards, so there'll be no chopping. And then top it with some relish. And here we go. That is the sandwich. So I'll give this a shot. It's amazing how lemony the chicken is with all the lemon zest in it. And the bread is super tender. Yeah, this is absolutely delicious. Well, thank you very much for joining. And as I said, I'll link Brian's recipe down below. And this took me 1 hour, 50 minutes. So certainly not a weeknight thing, but worth it. Certainly, and I mean, you can do the chicken in advance, which would be the other option in order to speed this up a little bit, and then just do the pitas fresh would be one way to do it on a weeknight. Thank you very much, and I hope you like and subscribe.